To know that this Rolling Thunder is going to come at him. If he taps the spike, let's see if he can dodge it. He just takes the fight and King wins it out.
G'day team, today we are looking at Vitality versus Leviathan, and it was an absolute cracker of a game, especially this Haven match. King, is there anything that he cannot do? Check out this 4K. Man had 4 clutches in this game, including the game-winning round. He's the IGL. He had 15 assists to go along with his 27 kills and 18 deaths, which was the least amount of deaths in the game as well. Man absolutely showed up. Let's look at the decisions that he's making as a player and an IGL that's winning him these close rounds. Right, so the first round that we're going to look at here is round 14. Leviathan, they've got the bye up here going into this second round of the half. So they get themselves onto A site, and now they're defending a 5v3 retake, and it gets a little bit dicey to say the least. Now, these positions that they get themselves set up in aren't too bad to start with, but they get a little bit impatient, especially Mazzino here. He's going to start walking up A short here, knife out, gets his sheriff out, and he's going to lose this fight. Give Mazzino the benefit of the doubt. He does come up here and start pathing this way, and I think he wants to regroup with King. They've got no smokes left. No smokes left, so King playing solo versus this window peak is a little bit one out. He can't watch this and also hold the flank, and if Mazzino's holding the flank and he needs help with the fight, King can't really join him because he can get peeked from heaven really, really easily. However, I don't think this is the correct way to rotate in this situation. What I would have rathered is just Shy coming down this way, and then what would have been much better, I think, is Mazzino to stay here holding this angle, and then Shy watching heaven as he backs out to join King in this little pocket. They have the alarm bot here to detect anything that goes off, to detect anyone coming through, and they might just have to give up short eventually and play all towards the long side. That doesn't happen, and Vitality get themselves a timing on Mazzino and able to get that kill. Now, Mazzino didn't have one of those rifles. However, peeking into A long a little bit as well, NZR dies to Mulsi, and all of a sudden it's a 3v3, and there's a crunch happening here from Vitality. And King, now that this player has been recognized and he knows that there is 2 players here, instead of walking forward to try and get a timing on this fight, sees this smoke and he bails. He gets out of there. Super clutch decision, and sees that they're not pushing through that smoke, and he gets himself onto site to regroup, and they pick up that gun. Now, he just stunned this line. I want you to watch very closely. This is another really, really great decision. What he's going to do, he's going to tell the team to come and isolate this fight out here. They're going to come push this quickly and not allow the team to get crunched. And I think it's a great decision with this stall. And unfortunately, Mulsi gets another one onto Taco there. But then King, the awareness of like the map in his head is actually insane. He crosses past the doorway here to turn around and absolutely smolder Sender, and then hits the second one on Destrian, and now he pulls out the rifle that's on his body and hits the third. And the casters did not acknowledge this in enough of a way. It's just an insanely high IQ read of the play to understand the timing and spacing of everything and the threat that they have of getting crunched, to go and make that play to run from long to CT to fight the one out and tell his teammates to come with him. It's a great play. It doesn't go as well as they would have hoped, but his awareness still allows him to get out of it. Look at this. It's, oh my, he might be the best player in the world. He could prove it this year. He might be. I'm not saying that he is, but I did put him in my all-star team from Champions last year. Second round that we're going to look at today is round 23, and this is why I hate playing on site on B site in the post plant. There's just like, there's no good places to play. Back site, you're exposed to both lanes. If you're playing front site, you're exposed to one of the links, and then also from garden flank, and it's just really hard to actually play post plant on B site. I want to highlight a couple of decisions here. So Killjoy just, Shy has just died to Sender here, and so the flank is now open. Leviathan don't seem to be aware of that possibility in the way that they are setting up for this. They're trying to fight this C-Link area, expecting them to come back out of Garage. And it's actually a really nice wrap from Destrian coming all the way into A-Link. What I would have loved is for Leviathan to either push A-Link or C-Link, try and take this fight a little bit more head on, but they do stay on site. Look, King's got like a whole 90 degrees worth of angles to hold. Same thing for Mazzino. He's got two 180 angles. And then NZR, who's just about to die, was watching C-Link. His back gets exposed and Bone Cold takes him out with the Sheriff. And now we're in a 2v3 situation. King gets himself down off onto this box so he can peek in. Pushes into this smoke and picks off Destrian. Another great fully aware play, then turns around immediately to stun these players walking in. They hear the Sova drone as they enter. Mazzino misses that shot and then TPs up. And the difference here for Mazzino surviving and living is the fact of whether he goes left or right. After this first kill that he's about to get, if he strafes right, they set up a better crossfire and Mazzino walks away with his life. Unfortunately, that's not what happens. So Mazzino gets this shot on Bone Cold and he strafes left. If he strafes right there, Sender has to come a little bit further in and King probably cleans him up through with the wallbang. But we do end up in a 1v1 situation here. They're both low on bullets and then King jumps over across the gap, just says, I'm out of here, I gotta send it. Without even taking a second to think, throws this aftershock to stall Sender, knowing that he's gonna have to get off it, jump right click and just... That's just a kingly play. That's just a kingly play. Okay, so now we come to round 24 where Leviathan are going for an A execute again, and Mazzino actually TPs here onto the top of the box, and a great little aftershock here from Molsey. Unfortunately, it's not the typical Omen teleport into heaven. What would have been cool is if Mazzino smoked this high smoke and then was able to drop down with it as it fell down. So he does expose himself a little bit. He's lucky that he doesn't get peeked in time and he gets himself into the smoke then, flashes and gets this spray down and opens up the site completely. Leviathan's able to just completely run in here. All Mazzino needs to do now is just live a little bit longer. So he decides to survive in his smoke. He re-smokes himself and then Molsey gets in this very awkward situation. Should get one there before he goes out. A little bit of a whiff, but huge shot from Taco to flick over and kill him there. Then Mazzino's just holding this entry. Now, again, this is a 3v5 retake. Ult comes out here as well, and Sender manages to push in here and get a kill before getting out without being traded. Really crazy timing to be able to get that. So now it becomes to a 4v3. You know, Sender like punishing a position that's not tradable. But King, look at all this util that he dumps. Now, he does go for the ult right here to follow up after the stun. I think going for the aftershock first would have been a little bit better, but the aftershock comes out now and he's just stalled so much time on his own. King's done so much stalling with his util alone that they're just out of time. This is the final round of the regular half, the second half, and Vitality just run out of time. They make a really strong effort in trying to get this. Look, he survives on 46 HP. That's not enough HP to end a clutch round with to send it to overtime. In this 4v3, Shy giving Destrian these 1v1s, and Shy wins that fight. But then this position here that NZR is playing in is absolutely terrible. The fact that he just dies single-handedly to the op, and then Shy's going to peek out and he's going to die single-handedly to the op. We have this crossfire here. This crossfire is when these two players should be swinging out. NZR should even be coming around this way to support this fire. With NZR should really be coming around to this side of the box as well to play this swing with King. But they actually just give away 2 free kills, and then King and Taco have to play the crossfire really perfectly. The smoke comes out to break that line of sight, and King is able to hit both of those kills. Twiston hits the shot on Taco just with the flick as he's low as well. Really, really nice play from Twiston there to try and get him out. Nice shots from Sender to pick up the 2, but fortunately for Leviathan, King is as solid as a rock, clutches the round up, sends them to overtime, and gives them the opportunity to win the match. 2 rounds on the map, absolutely huge plays in this round as well. Vitality have this cool idea of getting the Omen TP in to plant the spike. They are going to get punished with this molly here. Omen is going to die, and if the reaction time was a little bit quicker, Definitely could have died before the spike went down. They would have been really cooked after that. But Vitality, they're going to try and play these post-plant positions. They've got the Breach Aftershock. They've got the Killjoy Mollies. They don't have the Sova Shock Darts, though, because Bone Cold is on this mega wrap all the way through A into A Link. And it's a really nice positioning here. You can see the stun and Mollies come out just a little bit too late to stop and deny that plant. But look at this timing from Bone Cold. He gets all the way back into A-Link, and he should be able to win this round from this position, Bone Cold, but he goes a little bit early. Doesn't have the patience that he needs. Leviathan do a great job of fighting the Vitality players in B main together. They have the Killjoy turret watching anyone trying to push through Garage, and they have the Alarm bot, anyone like trying to avoid that and wrap all the way through C. They have left A wide open though. Look at this, they're just all peeking together. Look, guns out, tapping, jump peeking, trying to bait all of those different shots. And Bone Cold swings in here after missing the shot on NZR. He didn't need to swing just yet because if you look back just a second, Leviathan just tapped the spike right now. And that forces a reaction out of Leviathan. They've got to make sure that they're stopping the defuse, right? As attackers, that's what you got to do. The way that they do that is with this Aftershock. So there's no reason for any of these players to be peeking. Potentially Twistin holding a tight angle trying to hit this op shot is the only person that you would want to have peeking. But there's no reason why Bone Cold needs to take this shot right now. He could literally sit in this position and have the trigger discipline to spam and kill NZR on that next tap or after the contact is taken to force them off the spike. But he goes a little bit early. He does get one. That second player, Taco Lilla, he gets taken out anyway. And then King is able to trade him in. And all of a sudden now it's a 2v3 rather than a 2v4. And because this threat of Bone Cold is now taken out, they don't have to worry about him. If he even just like got this kill on NZR and backed out and tried to just delay this fight for a little bit, King wouldn't have been able to cross because he would have got spammed by the rest of Vitality. And Sender would have to walk around all the way and take a 1v1. So, you know, he's playing the Sova. Maybe he's not used to that lurk timing type thing, but it does give them an opening here. And look at the way that Leviathan fights this. Both Sender and King peeking here at the same time. Molsey peeks solo, and then Sender peeks solo here as well. And both of the Leviathan players are there to fight each fight in that final 3v2. Okay. Leviathan on the attack again, on the A site again. They're going to get the plant down on towards A, and King is going to be the man to finish out the round on the A post plant again. So how does it play out this round? Well, it's a little bit more defaulty to start. There's info being gathered through mid, and Mazzino's off watching this C long push. They're just going to take a little bit slow. There's this smoke here from Vitality, which is just making them worry about if anyone is behind the box in bricks in that little cubby. Shy does a little bit of poking through mid. They're just trying to look for a pick so that they can go towards this AXZ. Shy gets spotted as they try and push out of mid, and that stops the Vitality push out of mid. They do have to take it a little bit slower. And then all of a sudden, not really sure where to go. They do smoke off A and send two players in towards site to play there together. But the rotations are quite slow. But then there's a great dart here from Bone Cold, which pings three of them. But then he gets stunned. Horde comes out, flashes from both teams. Then Taco Lilla using this Aftershock gets into the back of site, opens it up, and they're able to trade out Molsey, and Twistin has run into site here as well. And now we're left in a 2v2. Smoke comes down, and King's going to be very careful to not peek this. Gets himself into the smoke and actually uses that cover, but in this same position, one of King's teammates has gone down Shy, holding this angle. In a 2v2, it's not as egregious, but playing so in such an open angle, not somewhere that you can jiggle, or not ideal, I don't think. King does get himself into the unexpected hell position, using the smoke to wrap. Really strong angle here, and he is going to feels something's off, worried about the time, worried about the grouping, and Sender gets caught with his hands in his pockets. Now it comes down to the 1v1, and King elects not to use any of his utility, backs himself in with the aim. We've all been there before. The moment you pull out this breach ult to use it is the moment that Destrian swings and kills you. You've just got to have your gun out ready to take the fight. Get yourself in the best fight position possible. A little sidestep, crouch, spray down, and the reaction. Straight up, hands out afterwards. That is king shit. That is king from Leviathan. Leviathan, they look scary. They're going to be led by King like this all year. If they clean up a couple of things, they're going to be a really strong team and a top level team this year.